Sometimes the biggest, most powerful ideas are hiding in the simplest phrases. In this explainer, we're going to take just one short sentence and really break it down to see the complex world of belief working just under the surface. So let's get into it.
So this is it. This is our entire source for today's deep dive, God's preparation for our church. We're going to treat this phrase like a piece of evidence, examining every single word to understand the powerful worldview it's built on. It's a statement of faith, for sure, but wow, it's also incredible how much meaning is packed into so few words.
I mean, on the surface, it looks so simple, right? You might see this on a sign outside a building or maybe in a weekly bulletin, and you wouldn't think twice. It feels totally normal, totally straightforward. But that simplicity, well, that's often where the really deep stuff is hiding.
And that is our big question for today. What's actually being said here? What assumptions is this phrase making? And what kind of powerful story is it telling in just these 6 words? Let's find out, and we're going to start with the very first word.
All right, so let's start our deconstruction right at the beginning. The word God. This one word sets the entire stage. It tells us who the main character of this story is, and the title here, the divine architect. Yeah, that's a perfect way to describe the role this word plays.
And this gets us to this core concept called divine agency. See, the phrase isn't a church for God, it's God's preparation. That little possessive's S is doing so much work. It means God isn't just some passive observer. No, it puts God in the driver's seat as the active intentional force, the architect, who literally has the blueprints and is building this thing with purpose.
So if God is the architect, that brings us to the next key word, preparation. This is the action. And this word choice is so deliberate. It doesn't say God's creation or God's idea. Preparation suggests a process, not just some spontaneous event that happened out of nowhere. And this just illustrates that process perfectly. I mean, think about it. You don't just prepare something in a flash. It implies these really thoughtful steps. First, there has to be a vision, right? A plan. Then you've got to lay the foundation, set up the core principles. After that, you bring the people together, you build the community. And finally, you equip them for whatever they're supposed to do. It's a multi-stage, totally intentional act.
So here's the absolute key takeaway on this word. You only prepare for something. The word itself is looking forward. It implies that this church isn't just a thing that exists for its own sake. It's been carefully and deliberately made ready to achieve a specific goal in the future. That purpose is baked right into the logic of the sentence.
Okay, so we've got an active architect, and they have a deliberate plan, but who is this all for? Well, the answer is in those last 2 words, our church. And this part is fascinating because it creates this really cool tension between something that's super personal and something that's totally universal. And this slide just lays out that tension so well. On one side, you have the word our. That's deeply personal. It means community, belonging, our specific identity. It's about us. But then you have the word church, and that word is huge. It's a global institution. It's thousands of years of tradition. It's a whole body of doctrine. This phrase magically holds both ideas at the same time. Our little specific community is also part of this massive universal tradition. So what does it really mean to prepare a church? Well, as you can see here, it's a pretty complex system. It's not just about the people, even though they're the biggest piece of the puzzle. It's also about the shared beliefs, the doctrine, and the mission. What are we all here to do? And of course, the structure that holds it all together. So a true divine preparation would have to get every single one of these interconnected parts ready.
All right, so we've looked at the actor, the action, and the object of all this action. Now let's put all the pieces back together and see the complete, powerful idea that this simple phrase is actually communicating.
So what's the whole story being told in these 6 words? It's really a declaration. It's saying that an active, intentional God is carrying out a deliberate, step-by-step plan to equip a very specific community for a greater purpose. It's a statement of incredible theological confidence, all packed into one little phrase. And that leaves us with one final, and I think pretty provocative question. It's the question the phrase itself is begging us to ask. If you truly believe a divine architect has perfectly designed and equipped your community, laid the foundation, and gathered all the right people, what is the ultimate mission? What is it all prepared for? And that's the question we're going to leave you with. Thanks for tuning in.